everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Infiniti, and today I am here to show you guys how I connect my patches in crochet. This really goes for any type of project. If I'm knitting, either I'll sew it together or I'll use this method. If I crochet, I definitely use this method. Today I'm going to be connecting this patch, one of my patches, one of my Tunisian basket weaves patches, to the rest of them. I've already gone about doing that here, and it gives me these nice little kind of clean seams between here. So without further ado, I'm just going to kind of jump into that. Alright, so I've gone about connecting these in the order of the rainbow. So the last patch I connected was my blue one, and here I am ready to connect my purple one. So when you are doing patchwork type things in crochet, it's really good to potentially like keep an extra long tail when you complete your project, complete your patches, just so you can seamlessly either sew or kind of slip stitch these things together. And that's essentially what I'm going to be doing today. So what I want to do, I want to identify the front of my pattern, which is obviously this side and obviously this side. And then I want to flip this patch that I need to attach over on the wrong side, kind of line it up with the one I'm attaching it to. And when you do that, that's what allows for this little hinge type thing I got going on here. So you can turn or flip this any way you need to. And for me, I kind of fiddle with it to kind of see how comfortable it is when it comes to holding this stuff together and attaching it. And that stitch marker I had in the corner identifies my first row. And what I do is I just insert my hook into those lined up corners like this, and I start to slip stitch. Now if you have a long enough string, what you can do is single crochet this. I think they call that flat seaming in crochet. You could single crochet this as well if you have a long enough string, or if you wanted to use a fresh strand and start connecting these things, you could. But all I do is just go in each corresponding stitch in both patches, and I just start to slip stitch them together. There's no real particular magical way that I connect these. This is a way that I connect them though, if I'm looking for like that more homemade look, or if it's just more feasible at the time. This is something I think I also did on parts of that tapestry that I did for one of my design classes. I showcase it often. It just works better sometimes. So I think it's good to have more than one method of joining in your crochet knitting arsenal. I'm going at a pretty steady pace here. And I like how this looks because when you're constructing, say, a garment, because this is what this is going to be eventually, is a garment, you're working on it. Sometimes, depending on the stitch pattern that you use, it can be a little difficult to identify the right versus wrong side of the work, especially in crochet. So in doing it in this way, you have this little seam here that you wouldn't particularly want to have on the right side of your work. So that's an easy indicator of which side is which should you get lost in your projects. This would be really common if you're doing a project completely out of single crochet, as some of us do sometimes. So it's just one of those handy things to know how to do. Anyway, as you keep going along, it's seamed together on this side, and then I'll pull this up just a little bit. If I were to flip it on this side, as you can see, I have that nice even joining in there. So I just keep going until I reach the end. Now, it's good to kind of recognize how much yarn you'll need to do this method, how long of a tail you'll need to cut off. So my general rule of thumb is to have something that goes up and down the length of my project, maybe 1.5 times, 2 times, depending on the size of the project. And sometimes it can be hit or miss, but it's always better to make a longer tail and just risk losing that yarn as opposed to not having enough, because then it becomes annoying. But that is also why I don't snip this bottom strand either, because you can always go in, pick that up, and use that to complete your seam. Alright, and when I come to the end, making sure I get that last stitch in there. When I come to the end, all I do is fasten off as normal, so I just chain 1, and I pull up my loop so that I can tie that down, and then you can weave in this tail as you see necessary, but then you have your patch firmly attached to the rest of your work, and it has this nice little, like, I don't know, stitch together seam. So yeah, this is how I connect my patches. I hope today's video was helpful for you guys. If so, don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up. You can comment down below letting me know how it did, or if you have any future content suggestions, I'm all ears for that. I always appreciate your input. Don't forget to check out my other social media. I'm on pretty much everything except for Snapchat and TikTok. So I'm pretty much out there. Have a little something out there for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers and I need to do a video on that soon. Thank you everybody who has stuck around and continues to support this channel. If you want to support the content, I do have a merch shop as well as an Etsy pattern store, and I also sell my handmade items over there, so you can check those out. They are linked in the description box below. And until next time guys, happy making!